As autumn settles in and the last leaves drift to the ground, most people see a chore piling up in their gardens, but if you're part of the Nature's Flora community, you already know there's something deeper happening here. Those fallen leaves are not waste. They're the beginning of a powerful natural transformation. Hidden inside every dry, brittle leaf is stored energy from months of sunlight, waiting to be released back into the soil. The real question is, will you throw that away, or will you turn it into something extraordinary? Today, you're going to learn how to take what looks like a lifeless pile of leaves and turn it into a living, breathing compost system in just 72 hours. This is not about shortcuts or chemicals. Before we go further, make sure you like this video, share it with someone who loves gardening, drop a comment with your experience, and subscribe to Nature's Flora for more practical, powerful growing techniques. Now let's get straight into it. Every leaf that falls in autumn is rich in carbon, one of the most essential ingredients for composting. Carbon provides structure and energy for microbial life. The problem is that leaves on their own decompose slowly because they lack nitrogen. The other key component microbes need to multiply and break things down efficiently. Left untouched, a pile of leaves can take a year or more to fully decompose. What you're about to do is correct that imbalance. Instead of waiting months, you'll create the perfect environment for microbial life to explode into action. This is how forests recycle nutrients so effectively, and now you can bring that same process into your own garden with speed and control. Composting is driven by these microscopic organisms, bacteria and fungi that consume organic matter and convert it into nutrient-rich humus. To thrive, these microbes need three things: food, moisture, and warmth. The 72-hour method works by giving microbes an immediate energy source. Sugar and molasses act as fast fuel, allowing microbial populations to multiply rapidly. Yeast introduces active enzymes that begin breaking down tough leaf fibers. As these microbes feed and reproduce, they generate heat. That heat is the signal that your compost pile is alive and working. This is not artificial acceleration, it's simply removing the barriers that slow nature down. Start by choosing a spot directly on soil if possible. This allows beneficial organisms from the ground to join the process naturally. Gather a large volume of leaves, at least 1 cubic meter. Size matters because a bigger pile retains heat more effectively. As you build your pile, moisture is critical. Dry leaves won't decompose, so you'll want to lightly wet them until they feel kind of like a wrung-out sponge. Not dripping, not dusty. Just evenly damp, you know? If you have access to green materials like grass clippings or vegetable scraps, go ahead and layer them lightly throughout the pile. This introduces nitrogen and balances the carbon-heavy leaves. Oh, and avoid compressing the pile. Air pockets are essential for aerobic decomposition, which is what prevents foul odors and keeps the process efficient. In a bucket of about 10 liters of lukewarm water, dissolve 1 cup of sugar and 1 cup of molasses. Once mixed, add 2 tablespoons of active dry yeast. Let it sit for a few minutes until it begins to foam. That foam is proof that the yeast is alive and ready to work. Pour this mixture into a small crater at the top of your compost pile. The goal is to saturate the center, where heat will build and microbial activity will be strongest. Once poured, cover the hole with leaves and place a tarp or similar cover over the pile. This traps moisture and heat, creating ideal conditions for rapid decomposition. Within the first 24 hours, the pile begins to warm from the inside. You may notice a mild yeasty smell and, if you reach into the center, you'll feel some heat. This is microbial activity accelerating at a rapid pace. By the second day, the temperature rises even further. Leaves begin to lose their structure, softening and clumping together. The smell shifts from sweet to earthy, which is a clear sign that decomposition is progressing properly. By the third day, the initial burst of activity slows down. The pile cools slightly, but the transformation is undeniable. The leaves are darker, softer, and partially broken down. What you now have is not finished compost, but a highly active compost starter that will continue to break down efficiently over the coming weeks. After the initial 72 hours, consistency becomes the key. Turn the pile once a week to introduce oxygen and redistribute materials. Keep the moisture level steady, again, like a wrung-out sponge. If the pile dries out, microbial activity slows. If it becomes too wet, it turns anaerobic and begins to smell. Over the next 2 to 4 months, your pile will gradually transform into dark, crumbly compost with a rich, earthy scent. That's when it's ready to use in your garden. If your compost smells unpleasant, it's usually a sign of poor airflow. Turning the pile fixes this quickly. If there's no heat after a day, the pile may be too small or too dry. Adjusting size and moisture usually solves the problem. Avoid adding meat, dairy, or oily foods as these attract pests and disrupt the composting process. Stick to plant-based materials for best results. This method doesn't replace traditional composting, it enhances it. It gives you a powerful head start, especially during cooler months when decomposition naturally slows down. Instead of waiting for results, you create them. Composting is one of the most rewarding things you can do as a gardener. It closes the loop, turning waste into life, and once you see how quickly a pile of dry leaves can transform, you'll never look at autumn the same way again. If you found this guide helpful, make sure you subscribe to Nature's Flora, share this with fellow growers, and leave a comment with your results or questions. Let's keep growing, learning, and building better soil together.